So congratulations, you have reached the end of this video series. This is video number 10, and this is going to be a lot more in depth, and I'm going to show you different things and 15 different functions and formulas that you wished that you would have known with Excel. And these are definitely applicable to your business, and you're going to be able to see that. And it's really amazing and exciting as well, as you're going to be able to walk through and you're going to realize, wow, I wish I have known this for my own business. So what I'm going to do is just dive right in, and you want to refer to sheet number 7 in your workbook, which is going to be in brown. So if we go over here and we move to this one here, so sheet number 7, and you're going to be able to see all of this. So this is going to actually be fun, and it's going to be an eye-opener to you and a realization that, wow, I've been doing a lot of things the long way. In reality, I should have been doing this in a lot of shortcuts and a lot of short hacks. So the first way is being able to count the duration between two dates. And I'm going to show you a formula that you can use and you can apply in the practice sheet in just a minute, where you can actually figure out how many days, how many months, and how many years between two days. Now, the formula that you're going to be using is equal dated if. And then the A3 is going to be the column of the date in the beginning, and then the end date is going to be B3. And then the D stands for day. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to pull up the sheet. We have the sheet number 7, and feel free to pause this video at any time. But what we need to do is we need to select it here. So select this right here. Select one of these, especially the top one, because once we have implemented the formula, we can apply that to the rest of these, right? So it's going to look like this. We're going to be able to see the amount of days between this date and this date here. Now, I'm going to show you some other cool functions later on. But as you can see, this date and this date. So how many days in between this? If you were going to count this by hand, obviously this is going to take a lot of time. But what we want to do is we want to select that, go here, click equal, in caps, dated if. We're going to put it in parentheses. And we're going to select this one here, and then comma, this one here, comma, and then quotation D, capital D, and quotation. So make sure that it's quotation D, quotation, and the D stands for days, obviously, and then make sure that you close the parentheses. Now, when I click on enter, look what happens. It says 536 days. So we're correct. That's what it is over here. So remember to make sure that you copy the formula to the rest. You select this one, you put your mouse until you see the plus sign, you click left click, you drag it down, let it go, and voila. So we can see 1,447. It's the same here, same here, same here, same here. So we've gotten it. We were able to do that. Now let's move on to number 2 way. So the second way is, of course, the count duration between months. So as you can see, how many months are between the start date and the end date? Well, the only thing you have to do is just put quotations and the M. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So we could actually, in this case, if we scroll over here, we can actually easily just copy this formula right here. So that would obviously be the easier way, right? Now, if we go to the months and we copy that formula over here into here, we can see dated if A3B3, that's the start date and end date. And instead of D, you want to put an M, capital M. Press enter. We can see it's 17 months. If we do that, we drag and drop it and copy the formula over, we can see that it is the same 17, 17, 47, 47, 48, 48, 34, 34, and 62, 62. So now we can see that that is correct, right? So that would be the second way. You can tell how many months without having to really count everything, as you can see here. So that is the second way. And obviously the third way is to count the duration with years. So we do that by just putting a Y for years. So let's go ahead and do that. That's pretty easy, right? So we go over here. We could just copy it, or we could just do dated if, remember A3, B3, quotation, Y, parentheses. So if we do it from scratch, we can memorize it by doing that. And then of course we select that, make sure it's plus sign, drag it, drop it, and drag it down. We can see it's 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 2, 5. Same thing over here. We got it, and we got an A+. So that is days, months, and years. So going down here, that is the third way. And of course, the fourth way, if you want to make it look prettier and you want to add the word days, word months, or even years on the age column, and we switch back to the previous video where we talked about using the concatenate function, which allows us to combine different words, we can use this in the same way. And we can use this formula within the concatenate function. And what we do is we can add a space and then utilize the word days, day, month, months, or even year or years right afterwards. And what that would look like is equal concatenate, and then parentheses, dated, you put the parentheses, and then you put the formula in it, and then you close it, put a comma, you put the quotation, quotation, put a space in between it, and you're just saying, okay, so I want the number of days, putting a space, and then I'm going to put the word days. All right, so let's try doing that right now. So we're going to go back over to here, and we are going to do it from scratch. So equals concatenate. So it kind of fills a blank for us. And then we type in dated if. So it needs to all be in caps. So let's make sure that we do that. Dated if. And then make sure that we have that there. And remember, that's going to be A3, B3. And let's say that we wanted days. In this case, is in the D column. So D, and there we go. So we're done with the days, and that's the number of days. And then we put a comma, and then remember, we want to concatenate that with days, right? So we need to put a space. So we do quotation, space, quotation, comma. All right. And then we put comma, and then quotation, days, the word days. So we're basically combining it with the word days and then closing it with the parentheses. Now, when we press enter, you can see it says 536 days. Now we copy that over, we drag it down, and we are good to go there. So see how easy that was? If we go back over to here, we have completed number 4. And of course, number 5, you can notice the date on the end date. It says equals today. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. If we go back over to here and we select the end date, like select one of these cells, you can notice that it says equals today, parentheses, parentheses. Now, the beauty of this is that you can create spreadsheets that are updated to today. So you can get the latest day either today, and you can do, let's say, for example, today -1, which is yesterday, or even +1, which is tomorrow. So you see how this changes? So for example, today is December 19th, 2015, as I'm recording this. So that's the beauty of that function, is that you can have an Excel spreadsheet with updated dates. So anytime you open it up, you see that that is the day today, or you can plan ahead and put the date for tomorrow. And it'll constantly update itself every time you open up the Excel spreadsheet. So this is actually very, very powerful stuff, as you can see. And number 6 is, remember that plus icon that I just keep on mentioning? Well, you can use it as well to continue a sequence of numbers. So for example, if you type 1, 2, and then you put the plus sign and you drag it down, Excel will actually complete the sequence for you. So let's go ahead and do that. 1, 2, we select it all. So you gotta make sure you select both of these. Drag the plus sign down and it fills in the sequence. Now, if we were to do something like total opposite, Excel can figure things out. It's pretty smart. So if we did something like backwards, like -2 to -1 to 0, all we do is select it, click the plus sign, drag it down, and it fills it in. It goes to total opposite. So that's why Excel is so powerful. It's got so many different formulas within it. But once you figure it out, and it makes sense, and it's a lot more easier, right? So number 7, for better visuals, you can actually merge cells together as you would notice sheets 2 through 6 for the headers. So to merge cells together, it's really, really easy to do. I'll show you in just a minute. But you select the different cells, you go up the top where it says home, you click on merge, and then of course it merges things together. So if we go down here, and let's say we want to merge these cells together. So we click on home, and then we look for merge, which is right here. And you can see that it has merged it into all of these cells into one cell. Next, number 8, go to sheet number 8. So we go to sheet number 8. Notice how it looks a lot cleaner than all the other sheets. Even though we've added all the other sections and everything like that, it looks really clean. There's no grid lines, right? So all I did was remove the grid lines and the headers. So to remove the grid lines, all you have to do is go to the View tab and then uncheck the tick box for the grid lines and the headers. Now, in the earlier versions of Excel, this can actually be found under File, Options, and Advanced. So if we go over here, and let's say we want to apply the same thing to sheet number 7, if we go to View, and we go to Grid Lines, and we uncheck that, notice how the grid lines disappear. And of course, you can also remove the headings, make it look nice, and the formula bar. So if you remove the formula bar, think about that. You can send this to somebody else and they won't have access to the formula bar. So if you wanted to create an Excel spreadsheet that maybe had formulas within it, you could actually send it to somebody without them actually messing up the formulas. So this is actually pretty powerful, and I'll show you in just a minute how you can even make it more powerful than ever. So number 9, you can copy a formatting of one cell to another by using the paste format icon located on the shortcut toolbar. So basically, here's how it works. You can select a cell with formatting that you like. So maybe you like the formatting, you like the font, you like the color, everything like that. You select that format of that cell, you click it, you click the copy format icon, then you select whatever cell that you want, and then the formatting will be applied. So it's going to look like a little paintbrush on your Excel spreadsheet system. Now, if you're using Google Sheets, the copy format has actually a different icon. It has a paint roller that looks like this. Now, if I go over here and let's say I want to apply the coloring. So let's say, for example, that we have 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go to home. I'm going to make it red, going to make it yellow in the background. And then I've got this one over here. So let's say I want to apply this to this information over here. To do that, you select that, you select the paintbrush, you click this over here, and as you can see, it has applied the formatting, the yellow background and the red font, as you can see here. So moving on, number 11, you can actually secure your workbook. So whenever it's open, it will prompt for a password. To do this, it's very, very easy to go to the review ribbon and click on passwords. You can simply enter the password and it'll prompt users that you give the Excel workbook to enter the password as well. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Now, obviously the workbook is the whole file. It's not the individual spreadsheet. So if we click on review here and we click on protect workbook, we can enter the password. Let's say hello. And there we go. So when you send it to somebody else, they can't really actually use it until they enter the password. So we can unprotect it. Of course, we can go the reverse way by simply entering the password. And of course, moving along, number 12, you can actually secure the data in your spreadsheet. You can make sure that the formulas are not changed accidentally by protecting the sheet. So this is great, especially when it comes down to wanting to maybe creating an Excel spreadsheet where your customers or your clients or even your employees can use, but you don't want them messing up your formulas. But you want them entering data and everything like that. So number 2 becomes valuable in that case. So in this case, using this option locks certain cells in the worksheet so that they can't be edited. Now to do this, all you have to do is go to review, just like in number 11, click on sheet, and it'll prompt you to basically protect it. And it will also show you a checklist of what you wish the viewer would be able to do and when the sheet is locked. So you can actually specify, hey, I only want the user to be able to format cells or to select unlocked cells or select locked cells, and they're not able to edit or insert rows. Or maybe you want them to be able to insert rows, but you just don't want them to be able to do everything else. So you can actually set the permissions, which is the beauty of this. So going back over to here, if I were to, let's say, for example, protect this particular sheet, sheet 8, and you can enter the password and you can specify what the user's permissions are. And you can simply select that, click OK, and you are good to go. So moving along, we have number 13, which is to unlock cells, those that you don't want to protect. So you can actually protect the sheet, but you can unlock certain cells that you want them to edit. So to do this, what you want to do is you want to select the entire sheet or click on Control A. So Control A is selecting all. Then you want to go to Format Cells or use the shortcut Control 1. So as you can see here, we go to the Format Cells, we click on Protection, and then of course you see locked right there. So we can go here. We can, let's say for example, go to sheet number 6. We can do Control A and then Control 1. And then it's locked. So we can actually unlock that particular cells or sheet as well. So moving on, number 14, you can also hide the formulas you've used so that viewers won't see it in the formula bar. And of course, to do that, same thing in number 13, but you're going to select the hidden checkbox, and that's how to do it. And of course, last but not least, number 15, you can collaborate with others. You can actually share your workbook and allow multiple users to open and edit the workbook at the same time. Now, in order to do this, you click on the review tab up at the top, you click on share workbook. Now, keep in mind that this is only possible if you are in a shared network where you can access the same file just like everybody else from just one location. So it's not going to work if you're on 2 separate networks. It's only going to work if you're on one centralized network. So with that said, this is a lot of information I know to take in, but please go back. Feel free to pause the video at any time. Make sure that you practice along with the workbook. And that way you'll be able to retain the knowledge for years to come and see where you can apply this to your business.